Thank you, devotees. So we were reading Bahunam Janmanavante Nya-devatāḥ prapadyante. Does anyone remember what we discussed as sarvam? Vasudeva has sarvam. Different meanings of sarvam. I know you all mentioned that he's all pervading, he's everywhere. But does anyone remember what sarvam, other meanings?
Nourishment.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna is my nourishment.
Krishna is what?
My nourishment.
Nourishment.
My energy.
Very nice. Okay.
Krishna is like my entertainment.
Yeah, Krishna is just my source of entertainment. Reading Bhagavata is a source of entertainment. Okay. Anything else? Krishna is what else? What is the practical manifestation of saying Vasudeva sarvam? Any answers? How does a devotee think when he thinks of Vasudeva sarvam? He sees everywhere Vasudeva. Okay. And he sees as my only nourishment. He sees it as my only entertaining thing. He's my luxury. He's my anything else. Others. Sorry, ma?
We talk of three things that Ramanujacharya had mentioned in his commentary.
Yes, Amma, correct. So we're talking about he's my source of existence, nourishment, enjoyment. And we also discuss other things more practically, right? What do we consider as everything in our life? Like, what distracts us during chanting? Because if you are able to think as Vasudeva sarvam, then there is no point, there is no problem in chanting. But what distracts us during chanting? What urges distract us during chanting? Now, Krishna has to sit there, think from that perspective. We are losing time, devotees. If you don't answer, I can't go forward. 9:24.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I could not
I was
attend yesterday's class.
Oh, okay, understood. Sorry, ma'am.
For me, it's always either moham or Maya.
Yeah, true. But in what forms? Okay, just to, I mean, it may not be one single answer, but what we were discussing yesterday was, Krishna is my husband, Krishna is my mother, Krishna is my father. So, in a normal life, we are getting one aspect from one place. That is why we need to have many things in this world. Because I want to look smart, so I buy a t-shirt and a pant. I want to look religious, so I buy a dhoti. I want to look, rich, so I buy a house. I want some affection, so I have children. I want some sex, so I have a husband or a wife. I want some companionship, so I have a husband or a wife. I have some money, so I go to a job. I want some religious fervor, so I go to that, XYZ temple. So we are getting many places, right? Is it not? So in your life, what is that spectrum? Like, I wouldn't say the word spectrum. What is that what is your portfolio of enjoyment? Right? What do you have in your portfolio of enjoyment?
It's a wide spectrum, Prabhuji.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of things.
Yeah. I want a little khatha, meetha, so I want this, I want that, this flavor to be here, this flavor to be there. And I want some cake, I want some rasagulla, then I want some Tamil sweets, I want some Bengali sweets, I want entertainment, English entertainment, Mexican entertainment, comedy, so many different varieties. Imagine, like, just understand how much we are absorbed in this world. So if you think about the variety of things we are absorbed in, See, I gave you something to start with, so you can maybe take me down. It's already 9:28.
I think Prabhuji, you already mentioned some of the things, but
Yeah.
yeah, food
Yeah.
is definitely one of them.
The others, yeah, whatever. I just wanted to be, because we have to be thoughtful. So monologues don't usually work in Krishna consciousness. So we have to think actually aloud. How what my needs, what are my needs? So food is one, but I'm just saying let's take some variety. So even relationships, you can say variety. I need like a grandfather or an old man wants some grandfatherly experience, so he wants grandchildren. He wants to have a fatherly experience, so he wants to talk to his children. And then he wants to feel like cared for, so he needs a servant. He needs some other friends. He needs something to gossip, so he needs the TV. So everyone is having so many different types of wants, and we are all very unhappy if one of them is taken away from us. Oh, my entertainment is gone. Oh, my grandchildren are gone. So we feel a void in our identity. Because our identity is made by our engagement in different sense enjoyments. This is what our identity is right now. Our identity is a sum of our engagement in sense enjoyments, and that is what nourishes us. Nourishes our identity. This false ego. So this false ego has to be broken. How do you break this false ego? So that's when we see Krishna as everything. So we must gradually let go, and that's what we do during chanting. So we have to, so people say I get distracted in chanting. If something is distracting us, like I always say, that means it is a sign we have to give that up. If you don't give that up, we have to anyway give it up when we die. So why not give it up right now? And giving up is compulsory. Krishna consciousness is compulsory for everyone. No one can escape Krishna consciousness. Everyone has to become renounced. But we hesitate. I'm rebelling. I'm rebelling to be renounced to Krishna. I'm rebelling to give it up to Krishna. But if I don't give it up to Krishna, then Krishna will take away in the form of death. So offering everything to Krishna is compulsory. Compulsory. So in the interim, I'm thinking I'm under the illusion that I own something. But this will not be allowed, as Prabhupada says. So those people who are knowledgeable, as I mentioned, they out of duty or out of fear, out of love, they offer it to Krishna. So the next shloka basically talks about, I don't know if I have a few minutes to speak, or if I have to have a hard stop at 9:30. Could I speak a little longer, or maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes? So Krishna in the 7th chapter here talks about how not many people actually come to Krishna and surrender unto him. hṛta-jñānāḥ. So kāmam, what it does is that it steals our intelligence. hṛta-jñānāḥ. Man's intelligence leaks through his semen. A woman's intelligence leaks through her speech. So, hṛta-jñānāḥ. So, when there is desire, it steals our intelligence. We can't see things as they are. He sees things as they are. So, that is why the more and more we are absorbed in the activities of senses. Hṛta means stolen, jnana means desire, knowledge. So kāmais, tais, hṛta-jñānāḥ prapadyante nya-devatāḥ. So because they don't see me, the person whose desires are dominating him is driven by his desires. So they are naturally led to only surrendering to nya-devatāḥ. So Krishna is making a very clear distinction here that the devata persons who surrender to devatas, they are differently qualified than those persons who surrender to Krishna. So again, just because we are practicing Krishna consciousness doesn't mean we have surrendered to Krishna and we should consider ourselves higher than those, who are serving the devatas. Of course, our attempt is higher, yes, agree. But our position might not be if we have not completely surrendered to Krishna. But if a person who has completely surrendered to Krishna and a person who has completely surrendered to a devata, there is a difference. That is what Krishna is mentioning here. Those who are surrendering to a devata, they usually do it on account of a material desire. Because if they didn't have any material desire, they wouldn't see those devatas separate from Vishnu, and they would be able to see that Vishnu is their, ādhāram. He's the person who's actually sustaining them. Vasudeva is the person who's sustaining them, and they would have naturally surrendered to Vasudeva. But because of their material desire of Rajoguna, which creates disconnectivity between everything, they are not able to see the connection of those devatas with Krishna. And tam niyamam āsthāya. So, and everyone follows a certain niyama, like, you fast on Monday for Lord Shiva, you fast on this day for, the Friday for Durga Devi, for Saturday for Guru, and for Tuesday for this person, Wednesday for this person, Thursday for Shirdi Sai Baba. So in this way, of course, Shirdi Sai Baba is not even a devata. That's another topic. But my point is, tam niyamam āsthāya. So the point is, people take up different rituals because they are materially contaminated. So to surrender to Krishna is very difficult, right? Very difficult. In entire a society, say we have ISKCON Parvita, which is contact, right? ISKCON, Ypsilanti, just Michigan, okay? The 3 temples we have. Now, if even one person goes back to Godhead, it's something very wonderful. Just one person. Very difficult. Going back to Godhead is not so easy. Not so easy. Right? Because we have to give up everything, every material desire. Very difficult. Very difficult. Most people cannot come to that platform. Cannot come to that platform, including me. So, and we need to exert in that direction. We need to understand the temporality of this material world. We need to do bhajan intensely. We need to chant the holy name of the Lord when we are in the office. We must understand, I have only Krishna, I have nothing else. This is called clarity of mind. Clarity of mind is to realize that I have only Krishna and nothing else. In all points of time, I should realize that. Right? So when I realize this point, that my only wealth is Krishna and nothing else, then that is being very intelligent. So not many people who have that intelligence, usually they are stolen by their material desires and they either surrender to Devata, and even worse, they can surrender to some human being, and even worse, they surrender to some politician, surrender to many things, Who surrender to Devatas. The Bhagavad Gita is so high that even surrender to Devatas is a very low-class job. Right? So it's not low-class, it's not very good. That is why Krishna is telling, hṛta-jñānāḥ. If it was very knowledgeable thing to surrender to Devata, Krishna wouldn't say that. So that is the stature of Bhagavad Gita, what we are reading. that surrendering to Devata is also something considered something very not something very great according to Bhagavad Gita. So it is not an ISKCON fad or a Hare Krishna fantasy land or Hare Krishna fanaticism that we are saying surrender to Krishna and not to the Devatas. No, Krishna himself is telling, if you are surrendering to nya-devatāḥ, it is hṛta-jñānāḥ. Very simple. Right? So one might ask the question, there are many people who worship the Devatas, not having much material desires. Yeah, very true. So those people will go to the Devata Loka. Those people who have material desires and worship the Devatas, they will get their material desires fulfilled. But those who have love for the Devatas and they want to associate with the Devatas will go to that Loka. But that is also long, there's got long years, but it is not eternal. But it is in Sattva Guna. Predominantly it is in Sattva Guna. So there is a bunch of little bit of Rajas and little bit of Tamas, but it is mostly, it is a good amount of Sattva. So, but ultimately they will come to the point of surrendering to Krishna at some point. That is why Krishna says, Bhagavunam Janmanamante. So I'll stop here. Any questions or comments are welcome. Okay, thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dhamma pranams.
Hare Krishna.